We got ourselves lots of wizards over for the team one. Literally, the Harry Potter squad is out in full front. That's a lot of mages. You know, I didn't mean to put that many mages in one team, but I think it'd be fine. I think it'd be okay. I don't think mages are that egregious, right? That egregious, right? I do like your Mog, though. That looks fantastic. I love how they allowed these class shoulders, which are normally warlock shoulders, to be usable by literally everybody. I don't know why they added those restrictions and then removed them altogether. Jaina over on that team, we got ourselves J extension with Ash as Boomkin ready to go, a barrel. Oh, and you know what? It's a full team of range classes. Whole team of range casters, man, with Natty Liad. We got Natty gonna be first up as a Og Evoker. I am excited, dude. We've been seeing Evokers here and there little by little, and I've been kind of loving it. It's not like they have been doing like amazing or anything, but at least they've been given a solid good old shot in there because they're good in group content, but in 1v1s they just haven't been that amazing. Gonna be some knockups out of Natty immediately. Jada taking some damage with a deep breath right after. Polly to follow trinkets out of it. Got himself some movement. It is going to try to see if he can just burn through a bunch of damage. Going for a juke kick. Jada might be in a bit of trouble here, actually. That's going to be a block. Natty, as a buff evoker, slamming those eruptions back to back. Got himself a bit of heal. That time skip is going to be massive because you just get a lot of those major cooldowns back together. Ultra up for Jaina. Up heal by Natty with a fire breath right after with a root to follow. I don't know if he got a stun out of the root or at least tried to go for a stun. That is going to be stunned out of Jaina. Natty baking out of the breath really quickly. Still casting more eruptions. Shields are up with Jaina, still keeping himself plenty alive. Well, Natty got himself a little bit of healing behind the pillar. Jaina is still taking huge punches of eruptions back to back by Natty. So the Evoker does have quite a bit of burst. Got himself the Shroud, which is changing actually quite a decent bit, by the way. It's going to be more of like a passive thing where every time you, I think it's every time you use a heal, you're, I think it is rescue. I think it is rescue, right? Or verdant embrace. I think it used to be called rescue, but it's verdant embrace. I'm pretty sure it's the one where you like fly heal to somebody. Oh, I was just gonna say there's a stun out of the mage, but the knockup Z axis into an eruption upheaval. Holy, that is some combo. My goodness, knocking the Evoker out in the open. Aim shot is going to connect. Natty is going to get hit with a stun, which is unfortunate. Barrel trying to get an angle. Big rapid fire. Natty needs some healing. Does go for the wall here. With a stun right after. Barrel trying to see if he closes the gap. With a black arrow firing. But Natty's going to back up out of there. Has himself big defenses. With a breath to follow. That's going to go for a bunch of eruptions. With a huge eruption. Huge upheaval. Holy, that damage. Actually, Natty's so low too. That is some huge damage out of the Evoker. But not quite enough to take down Barrel. Trying to go for a bit of DPS race with him, but Barrel does take him out. I was surprised by that. My child's also Uman Rip. Oh no, Pog. That's all good. We'll have another chance here. Our Pal going to be up next though. Versus Barrel, and it's giving Barrel an opportunity to at least recover some health and get a bit of this honor duel. If Barrel gets himself a camo, that's going to give him a little bit of that faster. You got mages. Hold on. Barrel, you have mages on your team. You can just go behind the pillar and get some food. Trinket out of our Palo on that freezing trap, though. I don't know if that was the move or if that was maybe panic. Either way, that is going to be a stun with a slow. Barrel got himself plenty of range. Bob can be removed. Our Palo still has the bubbling key to need to. Freezing trap waiting for him. No more Trinket to work with. Does get himself an angle here. Could go for a big rapid fire. Try to use the rapid fire just to outrun the Paladin with a scatter. Barrel's health is getting really low. Got himself a bit of that pet sack. As our Paladin tried to set up a Wake of Ashes, is going to go for a bit of that Dawnbringer or Dawnlight for a self-heal. Did you try to go for a stun while he was eternal? Is that what that was? Is that what that was? Because I saw you raise the weapon. I heard an animation, or I heard a sound of an animation. I don't know exactly what it was though. Rescue is the grab. Okay, rescue is the grab. You're right. Verdant Embrace is the fly heal. So it's fly heal. Pretty sure they changed it in Evokers where instead of like having to cast a Shroud for CC immunity every 1.5 minutes, you're just going to be tied to your Verdant Embrace. Like every time you Verdant Embrace, you got to charge a Shroud in the PvP talent. I'm pretty sure. I need to double check what the PvP talents are on the PTR. I've been kind of giving Blizzard a chance to like add more on there and then maybe do like a whole video going over what are the new stuff for PvP. There's actually surprisingly a big amount of tank PvP talents coming out in 11.2. Like I think they're trying to give tanks a bit more playability. Our Pala, I don't know if they're doing this on purpose or not, but they're literally ducking away from Barrel's go. last second a couple of times in a row. Then it's going to be full rapid fire, trying to see if he can turn around. Big scatter to follow him. Got himself a bit of the range. Trying to see if he can max range it with a stun. There's an opportunity for you to have a big go. Got himself that max range. Aim shots are doing a lot of damage. Power Palo with a lay on hands. Binding shot around the corner. As long as you get yourself some big damage, this is a huge opportunity for you to go for a big setup. Aim shots are massive here. Taking lots of damage as well. Next stun can be really deadly. Our Palo with a bubble. Baron just needs to get out of dodge. Trying to see if he can juke himself out of there. Our Palo going in for a bit of flash of light. I don't know if he got volley back or anything. Volley would be amazing here. Get himself a rapid fire around the corner. That does a decent bit of overall damage. And Barrel's in a great position. Waiting for our pallet. If he gets too close, freezing trap. If you can position yourself correctly, trinkets to follow. Does he have any outside of this? Volley down. Does have himself a double tap. If you have an aim shot double tap, that'd be huge. Pallet needs something here. Pallet needs something here. No more bubble, no more nothing. It's actually in the black arrow range. I think it's executable, actually. That is executable. That is a lot of damage. Stun is done. It's just done. Paladin wasn't able to get close enough to Barrel to lock him down. And that's what you really need, is to make sure you have that mobility to be able to close that gap. Freezing Trap waiting around the side. Freezing Trap stopping Elo. Does not trade a trinket for it for Barrel. That is a very, very short stun with a rapid fire to follow. Blur out for Elo immediately. Try to see if you can catch up to Barrel. Hunt is going to let you connect, but do follow up anything afterwards. Sigil of Fear does not connect. Barrel, I think, went for a knockback. That is going to be a binding shot with a turtle. Does drop it for another aim shot. Does Elo commit or does Elo back up out of there? At this point, you just have to make a choice. It looks like it's going to be commit. First aid, you got to CC it. If you have a scatter, this would be great. Has a trap ready for him. I don't know what Barrel trinketed, but I think he just might be lights. I think that lance is over. One more lance? Yeah, one more lance. That's all you needed. That is unfortunate. I think maybe there was a bit of panic setting in at the end, wasn't it? It's going to be either what? Extension? Jayhawk? Ash? Looks like a Jayhawk. Are you fire? No, you're frost. Okay, he's just scooting out there. He just scooting out there for a second. Just scooting out there. Elo, I don't think this matchup is going to be yours. Technically, Demon Hunters can beat a mage. It's just really, really tough, especially with frost, because you can go for like a breath setup, stun. If you don't have a trinket for it, you kind of limited. You're this mount. I've been trying for this mount for a bit now. I need it. I need it. I want it. Not even I need it. I just want it. I just wanted just to have it at this point, honestly. For Jay, I think this is a good matchup. He potentially, I think, is just going to see if he can get a trinket out of Elo. Elo trinkets really, really early. Stun comes out for Jay. Still, the trinket does allow you to at least deny that one stun. Trying to make some damage happen towards Jay. He does have Ultram. Is going to be able to rare frost from a distance. The hunt does connect for Elo. This way, you need to maximize whatever damage you got right now. Imprison for a second. I think you just got to stay aggressive. I think you have to stay aggressive. Whatever damage you got, this is an opportunity right now to make something happen. Jay with a bit of invis. Darkness down for Elo. That's going to be Jay backing up out of there. Polymer to follow. You can at least dodge away from the poly. That is going to be a frost bomb. Not going to feel good at all. With the shatters, yeah. There's just not much you can do there. I think at that point, yeah, with the mages and demon hunters, however, the problem is you can just get poly to be put in a really, really bad spot. And that's it. There's just not much for you that you can do to really recover from there. Unfortunately. Is it Foxy next? Wait, do you have the is that the mop classic shoulders and stuff? That is that. Yeah, that is that set. Wait, is that the full set for it? Wait, I think it is. You're like literally covered in Shaw. I never knew there was a full set. I knew there was mounds, but I didn't realize it was like a whole set with it. Jay tried to see if he could go for Ring of Frost. Gonna be Leo just getting past it with an AMS. Try to see if he can chop down Jay while the silence is active. Has to burn a trinket just to make sure he can alter. Otherwise, you just have to block. This way, I guess the question is, do you still block? You still block either way. I feel like at that point, I would have just blocked and then alter happen. Give you a little bit extra health. Maybe that would have been better to save a trinket for later. But maybe he doesn't even really need a trinket against him. Taking the block and stealing it? That is diabolical. Yeah, the Dark Sim is such a fun ability in PvP, man. Some of the stuff you can steal from another class is just so wacky. This is going to be Jay trying to see if he can back up out of here. Poly to follow, but he's left with no health whatsoever. He could potentially go for a Stunlock combo onto Leo, but Leo could just IBF out of it. So for Jay, back it up out of there and go for some range burst, actually I think is the right play. He does have a second block. He'll need to wait for a bit. Invis is available, so you at least wait out Leo for a second. Leo still has access to a trinket, so he can break out of stuns anytime he wants to. IBF still available. I think Legendborn is also still available. Let's try to see if he can sit down for some food. AMS should be up for Leo, and he's got silence, and he's got everything he needs. For Jay, I mean, he could always go for attempt for a stun, but it just doesn't really do anything, really. Yeah, I can't even knock it back. That is super unfortunate. Does end up reversing him back to the other side of the pillar. Was that ultra, or was that just a major blink reversal? I'm not even sure. Silence is done. Wait, block is available. Block is available. So maybe off of this block you can do summon, but he's still got IBF, so you can't stun him. He's still got Death Pact. He's got... Would you try to grip him when you blinked it? Poly is going to be full at the very least. He's got Shift and Power, so you can get some cooldowns back. So maybe you have a fighting chance. While Morgraine or Trollbane is just beating your ass the entire time. Stun, Blink is available. Riders are all in. I think it just might be light for Jay as he does get going in Ultra just to get himself a bit of a position. Blink it away just to try to stay away from the guy. But a single Frost check is going to be the end of ya. Ring of Frost? He's by himself as much time as possible, but that's about all he can really do. There's just no win condition there. You're just trying to wait out the DK, maybe roll the game into a little bit higher dampening. I didn't even realize the game is on a 10-minute mark, by the way. And Ash is going to be back into the duels, man. What is that 4x staff you got going on? I want to say, if I had to guess what expansion that's from, that's probably TBC. That's probably TBC. It looks very TBC-esque. I don't know. Can't even see what the model is. It's just all covered in shadow. I like that version of the, what is it? The enchant. That thing looks good. It just covers the weapon completely. Ash does get himself a stun around the corner as the boom can full dodge silence on Leo. And Leo, he can technically break out of stuns, but the full burst of a Boomkid, he can't really walk out of it as easily, I don't think. Like, he can get over a bash, but the burst, I guess he could only AMS it, or AMZ it, I guess? Is AMZ back? It looks like he owed the IBF. Silence out of Ash. Ash technically has access to a travel form, so you can just run away from the DK. And you have Bear form, so you can go for Feral Frenzy, which isn't a spell. Cycling off of this, cannot really get out of it. For Ash, it's an opportunity to get the hell out of dodge. Got himself another incarnation in case you need to. So if you want to go for another big incarn, disarm to Leo. That's actually pretty huge. Blind to trade. Try to see if he can get himself a bit of a setup. Stun onto Ash. Ash with a trinket. Got himself a bit of that burst damage. Wait, Leo could be in a lot of trouble, actually. Sorcerer is back to back. Wait a second. Bam, some death back for a second. Yo, Ash does get the kill. I was thinking this was going to be the Death Knight's game, but Ash does bring it back last second. Where are Bear form? Heart of the Wild, maybe heal? Heart of the Wild heal, Heart of the Wild heal, Heart of the Wild heal. 66% dampening is going to make this impossible. Fox catching him with a quick cheesy touch of death. Nothing you could do there. That was so good. I honestly thought Leo was going to walk in and sweep all these casters, but the Pumpkin came in and dumpstered him. I can't believe it. Normally, I'm not used to Boomkin just walking in and just like, you know what? Let me just unload the full burst into this guy and just watch him melt. I guess the Death Knight, though, damp too high. That is true. Damp is very, very high. Don't get me wrong. Damp is very high. Look, I've seen matchups like this before. More than once. And when I see Boomkin walking into Death Knight, I'm like, Boomkin is probably not winning this. So the fact that he won, I'm surprised by him. Anka with a double Boomkin with auto duel. True, he did give an auto duel, didn't he? That is very true. Blast out onto Foxy. Got himself a bit of that burst damage. Phoenix Flames flying out of extinction. Combustion is available for the time being. There's going to be burst out of Foxy. Extinction is trying to see if he can cut it out. As Foxy just rotating from one defensive into the next. Maybe looking at a Karma. Potentially needs to close the gap or get the hell out of dodge with a Karma. Never use a Condi. So he missed out a huge portion of his burst overall. Should have just Condi'd that. He has to Karma. Karma immediately. Extinction can block it. Block. Oh, just a fire blast and we're done. That is rough. Barrel picking up too, by the way. Well done, well done. That was some great matches, man. That Boomkin play was real good. That was great. I loved it. Let's get us another one going, boys, yeah? Frostfire is going to be so...